on, you guys? So it's looking like Conor Benn isn't out of the hot water just yet. Conor Benn look like he's facing a harsh 4-year ban if he don't pass this second test. And it's not looking good for Matchroom Boxing, if I'm honest, you guys. But I'm going to read this to you, right? And we're going to get a little bit of clarity as to what's really going on with Conor Benn in this situation. It says, Conor Benn is being investigated for a reported claim of a second drug violation earlier this year for chlorophene. If Benn is found guilty, he could be banned from the sport for over 4 years. Over 4 years. Oh, man. What's troubling is the new claim against Benn from earlier this year is the same chlorophene drug, and yet nothing happened. A longer suspension or more than 4 years for Benn, who is 21-0 with 14 knockouts, will remove the possibility of him fighting Chris Eubanks Jr. and will see him not returning to the ring until he's in his early 30s. That's right. Chris Eubanks Jr. will be pretty much out of the sport in the next 4 years, right? He'll be about 37 years old. He may, who knows how much time Chris Eubanks Jr. is going to be around, how many opponents he's going to fight, if he's going to be trying to unify a division or anything. We don't know, right? And Conor Benn will be in his early 30s, wasted a lot of good years. Of course, with Benn's clever promoter, Eddie Hearns, it's always possible that he might find a loophole to get him back in the ring if he were able to take out of the country to Saudi Arabia or another foreign country willing to ignore his drug ban. The 26-year-old Benn is currently being investigated for testing positive for chlorophene before his previous scheduled fight with Eubanks Jr., which was supposed to take place last weekend. It's unknown when the exact date was for Benn's positive test. See, they don't even know when his test was positive. They don't know nothing, but I do know days into the fight, when they was getting interviews, the press and everything, Conor Benn seemed to be very nervous, looking around and, just his eyes wandering everywhere. He seemed to be very nervous. And I thought at the time it was just the moment. The moment was just getting to him. But in reality, he knew he was doing something dirty behind the scenes and he didn't want to get caught. What is known is Benn failed a drug test with VADA and not UCAD. As a result of Benn's positive test, his fight with Eubanks was canceled. Although Benn's promoter, Hearns, maintains that the fight is merely postponed, the new claim of a second positive test for chlorophene makes that seem unlikely. And Chris Algieri came out and kind of dropped the bomb on the situation. People was telling him prior to his fight with Conor Benn to not take the fight. Don't fight this guy, and Chris Algieri said things like he noticed a lot of red flags during that build up to the fight. Nobody was checking gloves, anything, right? Nobody was nothing. It was just open season, and everybody was telling him not to take a fight, but he said he don't pull out. He's about the action, and we saw what happened. Then it says, quote, Conor Benn is being investigated over claims that he failed another drug test earlier this year for the same chlorophene substance, said Daily Mail. The 26-year-old could face a lengthy ban from the ring over failed drug tests. Benn's positive test makes a ban seem inevitable, one potentially even longer than the customary 4-year suspension for a single violation, which could keep this 26-year-old out of the ring into his 30s. Then it says, a few of us has known about this earlier test from some time, said Frank Warren. That makes it even more of a scandal, more damaging to our sport than everyone thought. So these guys knew about this failed test and nobody said nothing until this test came out, until he got caught. See, they knew about this dude failing the test, but they didn't want to say nothing, man. Why? Because they saw the money potential, man. This is boxing so dirty, bro. It's unknown why UCAD failed to catch Benn for the first time for the same chlorophene substance that VADA had. Is there a problem with UCAD testing procedures? That's a good question. I heard UCAD isn't as good as the VADA. I'm not too privy to all this stuff, right? Leave it in the comment section. I heard UCAD don't do a too good of a job. Then it says, yes, earlier this year, same stuff, and a source from the Daily Mail about Benn testing positive for chlorophene earlier this year. See, he tested positive earlier this year. Then it says, there's still no word why Benn's B sample hasn't been tested yet. For the B sample to be tested, it will require that Benn requested that it be tested, according to Daily Mail. Just why Benn would be delaying the testing of his B sample is unknown as well. Surely Benn will want his B sample tested, particularly if he believes he's innocent. That's right. If he was innocent, he'll take that B sample to prove his innocence to the world. But let's be honest. At this point, most people probably don't believe that he's innocent, except for the diehard UK Conor Benn fans that be in my comment section looking for any angle to save face. I'm a Conor Benn fan. I was rooting for him. I was looking forward to seeing how his career was going to unfold. But if I'm honest, you guys, I do believe that he was cheating. I do believe that. And then I got another thing here. It seems like these people at Daily Mail is really, really after Eddie Hearns over there in the UK. And it has an article that says here, it says 30% of promoter Eddie Hearns' boxing cards have included at least one fighter who has failed a drug test or has been sanctioned for an anti-doping offense, with Conor Benn becoming the latest to fall foul. Yeah, it seemed like every card, Eddie Hearns got somebody on there that tested positive or that's going to test positive. Some type of anti-doping offense. Seems like a lot of people over there is under the needle, under the pill, whatever the hell they do, right? That's what it's looking like, man. Eddie Hearns, you got to clean this shit up over there, man. You know, this stuff is starting to seep through the cracks. It's not looking good, right? It's not looking good at all. Eddie Hearns seems to be really optimistic that he could still make something happen. You know, he may eventually pull Conor Benn to fight in these countries like Saudi Arabia. However, it will be a black eye for boxing if he was to do so. I think he should let things play out how it's supposed to play out in this particular case. It's not a good look for Conor Benn. Over a 4-year ban. Is it harsh? Nah, it's not. Because boxing is a dangerous sport. And if you get caught cheating, if you do the crime, you got to do the time. But tell me what you guys think, man. Conor Benn got to take a B sample. They saying that he tested positive early this year for the same thing. It's not looking good for the Benns. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.